Hi friends, Cole Chance here with Yoga Tribe. Thank you so much for joining me. And we took a little vacation from Bali today, and we came it was like a 30-minute boat ride to Nusa Lembongan, and we are at the village, the Shala yoga studio called The Village. Quite a beautiful view. We'll do a little panorama whenever we're done with this class so you can see how crystal clear the waters are. It's like a world away, but very, very close. Indonesia's incredible. Anyhow, today I want to do some yin and restorative poses. So we'll just kind of relax and get into the deeper tissues, the deeper fascia. So I'll have you grab some props. So I'm going to use blocks, and then I have a couple of bolsters here, but I just suggest that you grab maybe a couple different sizes of pillows, and we'll make it work. Yeah? Okay, so to start, we'll go ahead and start with maybe the torture first, get the torture out of the way. Lay on one side. So this is one of my teacher's favorite poses, Denise Payne. And it took me a little while to begin to love it, but I love it now. So this block will go on its medium height. So this is the low height. This is the high height, and this is the medium height. Yeah? So we're going to place it on the lats. So it's a little bit underneath the armpit. So you can come down kind of slow and place it so it'll go long ways across. And you'll feel when it's in the right spot. You can lay your head in your hand if you'd like, or take the other block or a pillow and lay it down. I like to bend my knees and take the bottom leg out, kind of like they're like in 2 figure fours. This seems to just support me. So I'm not falling back or falling forward, but it'll be a little bit different for everyone. So this is sensation. And that's what you're looking for. And where you find the line between where you're getting benefit, you want to really be feeling this intense sensation, but be able to breathe. So you want to have full freedom of your inhale and your exhale. Because if you're holding your breath, it's counterproductive. And I have my phone here, so I'm just kind of watching a timer. So I go into a zone when I'm doing these poses. So yin yoga, you will hold poses for a lot longer, sometimes 2 minutes, sometimes 8, sometimes 10 minutes. And just a little brief of what it is if you've heard of the fascia system, essentially what the fascia system is, it's kind of like a 3D spider web, or if you can imagine what like a honeycomb looks like, that goes around all of your muscles and it surrounds all your organs, and it kind of keeps us all together. So whenever you pull the fascia in one place, like say you have a scar, you have an injury, it pulls the fascia in one place. So imagine a spider web. If you press on a spider web in one place, it gets tighter, it pulls on the other areas. So it's essentially what's happening in the body as well. So old adhesions, old scar tissues, kind of pulls that webbing in different places. So this yin yoga kind of works to break up those areas of adhesion. That's the super tip of the iceberg. This is a really nice practice. And as we stay in poses longer, you'll start to feel releases. You'll kind of start to feel levels, like sinking deeper into the pose. About 5 more rounds of breath here. we'll slowly start to move out of this. Go ahead and roll to the back. Take your block on the medium height and place it under so that the edge of the block goes right under the occiput, which is the edge of the skull, the base of the skull. So we'll match those two there. You can bring the knees up, maybe bring them together, whatever feels good, but just rock your head side to side here, getting a little massage in the back of the neck. So just for a moment here. And we'll begin to move to the other side. So if you'd like to just roll on your other side, I'm going to switch sides on the mat. So same thing here. It won't feel the same. I always have one side that's much more tender than the other. We'll see if it's this one. I think it's going to be this one. Prop yourself up. Again, I like to take that bottom leg and bring it out for support. So I kind of have two kind of figure fours with my legs, but do whatever feels good, just so you're not rolling forward, rolling back. Oh, and for those of you who need more, I normally just stay in these poses. Like I don't normally move in them, but lots of people like to, if you're rolling back and forth, this is too intense for me. It makes me hold my breath. But for a lot of you, it might feel really good. Another way to go even deeper here is if you were to do this with a tennis ball. Just another option. So as we move through this practice, notice where your mind is wandering, and don't even worry about trying to try to direct where it goes, but it's just quite curious to watch where the mind goes in these really slow practices. The body stores trauma, it stores memory, so it's really interesting. A lot of times I'll have these just really bizarre thoughts come up or memories that I haven't thought about in forever. They're just kind of stored in the body. And a lot of times emotional releases will happen as well, so all of these things are normal, just so you know. Just the body releasing, giving it, creating space to be able to release, space and time. Maybe you roll back and forth. Look at me being so brave. I normally never, it always amazes me that people are able to move in these poses, but look at me now. And again, being certain that you have full freedom of your inhale and your exhale. It's really vital. The deep breathing is telling our nervous system that we're safe and that it's okay to release. And about 5 more rounds of breath here. And plant that top hand on the ground, slowly moving up to a seated pose. Extend the legs long. We'll take a pose called caterpillar pose. It's like forward fold, but yin style. So I'll give you some different options. We want you to be comfortable. If you want to take a pillow underneath the knees, that'll give you a little bit more length and maybe feel like less strain. So First, let's lengthen up. So creating more space between the ribs and the pelvis. So really lengthening here. I'll grab some of these. And then just begin to roll down. So in a normal forward fold, we're really trying to get towards the toes, and that's not the goal here. We do want to start with length, but we just want to round down. So there'll be many variations of this. Some people will be up, some of us will be farther down. That has no bearing on the pose. So just go to where your body's allowing you to go today. If you have a block, it's really nice to put a block under the forehead. You can stack your blocks up. You can take another pillow. Find a place where you can stay right here. And if you do have a block, bring it down to where you can like barely touch it so that you have some room to still be moving downward. So that it's not impeding your stretch here. And I'll quit talking for a moment. Just finding breath. Bring awareness to the sensations in the body. This isn't necessarily, we're not really looking for a muscular stretch. This is actually stretching the joints and the ligaments and the fascia. So even deeper layers, deeper systems. Maybe you change the way that you're bolstered as you move deeper into this pose. Continuing to stay with the breath. Stay aware of the thoughts. Or if you're daydreaming, just let yourself be swept away. One more big inhale. Side out. Using your hands, begin to push up the heavy torso. Remove any props that you have. And take the hands out back behind you here. This will just kind of be a marination pose. You can move the legs side to side. Just take a moment here. You know, I mentioned letting yourself daydream if you were daydreaming. That's kind of a new concept. I think that so much we're always saying, be aware, be aware, be aware. And I've kind of always felt a little bit guilty because I'm daydreaming a lot. Whenever people are saying, like, be mindful, be aware. And I recently just got out of a training with the teacher I mentioned prior, Denise Payne, and she's really big on the art of daydreaming. And her theory is that, we spend a lot of time being mindful, and we do kind of berate ourselves when we aren't. But, some of our best ideas and the manifestations and the things that we, want to achieve in our life come from the daydreaming. And, being able to be away from devices and stimulation and allowing the mind to wander, that's actually quite beneficial and quite beautiful. So you have an invitation. All right, so moving into the next pose. We're going to bring the legs, let's see, how can I describe this? Kind of like in a swastika a little bit. So I'll kind of have a figure 4 right here, the shins parallel to the top of the mat. And I'm going to bring this, I'm going to turn this way. I think you might miss me here. So one shin's kind of parallel to the back of the mat, one shin's parallel to this corner of the mat. And bring the bolster, the pillow, really close up to your hip. So again, we'll lengthen tall, creating as much space as we can between the ribs and the pelvis. And we'll begin to twist towards the bolster. One more time, lengthen up and begin to walk towards the bolster, laying the torso down. So if you're feeling quite open, you can turn the head towards away from the knees as well. Just find what feels good here. You're not trying to find as far as you can go or the deepest stretch. Somewhere that's comfortable, because as we hold the poses longer, the benefit really comes from the time, not how deep we are in it. Whole different philosophy here. Maybe creating deeper breath cycles as we're here in a twist. All the organs are twisted up a bit, so bringing that breath, that energy deep down to the belly. I don't know if you all can hear. We'll be able to hear the ocean. I hope you can. Really, really nice. Can also hear some Balinese music a little bit farther in the background. One more cycle of breath. And relax, release it out. We're actually going to come onto the belly. So you can just bring that bottom leg around, move the bolster. Bring the right leg, or one of your legs, out to the side here. Just come down onto the belly, bring the arms in cactus arms. Gecko pose, or I've also heard it called hugging the earth pose. I like that. Feels really nice. A way you could deepen this if you'd like. Well, one, if you have a tennis ball and you want to do a little fascial release, you can bring the tennis ball underneath the kind of the top of the thigh, the top of the quad. You can also bring a block right here. It just adds a little bit more opening in the hip. Letting the mind go where it wants to go. Still while noticing, being a witness. We can find out some fascinating things about ourselves that way. Drinking. Sigh out. And slowly bring the legs together. Gaze forward, and we'll come into seal pose here for a moment. So the arms are wide and the fingers are pointing in diagonal directions. Just kind of lift the torso up. And kind of press the pubic bone down into the ground. Roll the shoulders down and back. And release. Back to child's pose just for a couple breaths. Bring the legs in front of you and we'll do the other side. So the legs kind of in this swastika mermaidish pose. If you want better instructions than that, one shin parallel to the side of the mat, the other shin parallel to the other side of the mat. We'll lift up tall, growing out of the pelvis. Twist. And then again, lift. And then coming down onto the bolster. You can turn the head to either side. Let a smile come across your face and really let your body soak this attention up. This self-care. Not often are we told to just lay there, just do nothing. Just relax. So some of you may find it quite hard to, get into that space, that relaxing space. This used to be super challenging for me. It's so good that we can be able to switch off and shut down. When a lot of healing happens in the body and the mind and the heart. And one more inhale. Release it out. And coming up a little bit, we'll come onto the belly. And bringing that knee out to the side. You can leave the bolster if it feels good. I'm going to move mine into hugging the earth pose. I'm going to go with that. I like it. AKA gecko. So just a couple minutes or two here. About 5 more rounds of breath, slow, deep, conscious inhalations and exhalations. Begin to extend both legs long, again into seal pose. So open up the arms, kind of in a Y as you push yourself up. Push the pubic bone down into the ground. Bring the heart forward, maybe gaze slightly up. Toes are pointed back. And release down. However you choose to get there, move very slowly. We'll meet in a seated position, Sukhasana. Roll the shoulders back. And take a couple rolls of the head. And just coming back to center. And let's bring the hands together in this mudra, which is a intentional hand gesture. Kind of like bringing the pinky edge sides of the hands together, kind of like a bowl. It's called Pushpa mudra. It's like an offering and a gift. So close your eyes down. And with this mudra, you're just giving this practice, offering this gift of love and self-care to yourself. Thank you for showing up today. That in itself is really worth a lot of gratitude, to be able to slow down, show up, give and receive some love. And then closing the hands up at heart center. We'll bow forward to close this practice and say namaste. Namaste. Thank you all so much for joining me. Again, if you're in the area, we're at the Village Yoga Studio in Nusa Lembongan off the coast of Bali. So, yeah, come check it out. And thank you for letting me be part of your practice. Go ahead and check out my website, colechanceyoga.com. I have all kinds of live events and retreats coming up, so please come explore, come travel with me. And until next time, be well.